Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Lockpod. That's Left of Center podcast. We're the top-rated show in Belgium.
Season 4, episode 2.
It's your relief from crappy radio.
When do we, John? Do you know when we hit episode 100?
I think this is 94.
Okay, we're
That
inching
means
closer to three digits.
6 more episodes.
Can we make it?
Yeah, we can make it. 3
Be
more
like
weeks.
October.
3 weeks? I don't know. It's a long time.
September's a long month, man.
We are free of charge, by the way. But
There's no charge.
You get what you pay for when you listen to us.
At times, yeah.
Which is nothing.
Not much.
That's right.
It's a special day today.
Oh, yeah, it is a special day. I already forgot about it. Sean Vesmar's birthday. Hey!
Best producer in the universe.
Are you sure?
I saw
got a Facebook notification telling me that.
John.
I'm here.
I saw something on the chat that said "Happy Birthday, girl," but I assume that wasn't. I assume that wasn't towards you.
Hey,
I don't know. I'd take that.
You take it.
I would. Thank you.
John
Thank you,
talks
guys
actually.
and girls.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got any big plans?
No.
Just take it easy.
I know I'm way older than you, so I'm going to try to guess. Right?
I think John looks older than his years. Like he's more mature than his years.
Wow, he just called
Are you-
old.
No,
I call him mature.
no, I'm trying to think of how much older than John I am. It's significant. I know
Yeah, well, that's both of us. We're the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say we're 15 years older than
okay.
John.
So what's your age on him?
37.
Okay, I'm going to go with. That's a good number, man. I think it's right in that area. I'm going to go
Maybe
with
36.
I'm going to go with. You went 37. You can't.
All right,
be
I'll go
changing it.
fine.
All right.
37.
Joe, where are you going?
That probably sounds right, honestly.
All right.
Oh,
Right.
you and Kevin. That's figures, you know.
Mhm.
I'm going with 36.
I think you might be right. John?
Wow,
Sorry.
Jack Smith says 46, bro.
I said you looked a little older.
I was born in 85, so I think that makes
36.
me 36.
Good job.
Bam!
That's why you're the locomotive.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you, chat. Thank you for the birthday wishes.
By the way, that's a weirdly unique talent I have that I'm going to bust
Guess
out.
the age.
I could work at a carnival.
I was
You
watching
should get a
Straight
booth
up.
at the fest.
could
Dude,
work
if I
at a
work if I
carnival.
worked at a carnival doing that, I would slay.
I was-
People would be pissed.
I was
would-
watching,
I'd have just nothing but stuffed animals around me because I'd be giving none out. You know what I'm saying?
the carnival would love you.
Yeah.
And the
They'd
people would be like,
"Who
this
is
guy's good."
He's a freaking ringer. This guy. Who is
Wizzo.
this guy? I am.
I was watching
The
Curb Your
amazing-
Enthusiasm, and they had a guy on there that was it was the episode where no one would give their weight to Larry David so they could get on the private plane, and he tricked him into going to the carnival, and the guy secretly guessed everyone's weight and gave it to him.
Dude, he is a genius.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you do weight or age or both?
I could do weight. Yeah, I was
think
a
you-
wresler. No, I
Wow.
definitely can.
All right,
Want me
let's
to go there?
Let's go.
With you? I
Sure.
already know what you weigh. I've
Oh.
been friends with you
Then
for
it-
freaking
I was, that
20
was
years.
that was a softball. You
think-
didn't have to say that.
I
Then you'd be
bet-
like, I'd be like, man, you got it.
I'm going to say.
Because you're friends with
stand up.
someone, you know
Here,
how much
stand
they
up.
weigh.
Stand
He's
up.
gotta
Yeah,
come
man.
pick you up.
Dude,
Pick
hold
him
on.
up.
I got to check you out. Hold on.
Exactly
I gotta
what the
check
guy
you
on
out.
Curb
Yeah.
Your Enthusiasm did. They
Okay, now
made
turn
some
around.
spin-
Yeah, let's
around.
see that back. We gotta.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude.
Huh.
Because I'm making sure.
Interesting.
I know you've been training. Okay, I got it.
All right.
All right.
I'm sucking in right now.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Do I have to be like right on? Or
No,
do
I
get,
think
like,
you're
a-
within 3 pounds.
Wait, Kevin, do you know
Oh,
your
that's
weight?
easy.
3 pounds.
I'm going to say
narrow window.
Plus or
203.
minus.
Weighed myself yesterday. It was 207. So you're right there.
Good Lord, so
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, I
You
need
do
to-
have a talent.
I need
here.
to get.
know,
I need
man.
to get down below. I
I'm
got to get
telling you.
below 200.
I was going to say 205, but I thought you would be closer
Offended?
to 2. No, I was going to say 205, but when you give me plus or minus 3,
203, man. I would take that today. I
just
need to get
freaking-
down there.
I missed by 1, though.
Yeah.
I would have had to give you a stupid stuffed animal.
That I would take it.
That sucks.
A lockpot stuffed
See,
animal.
I'm sitting there bragging about how good I am, and then like I lost already.
What would be a stuffed? What would be a great lockpot stuffed animal? A region rat.
Insert joke here,
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
and then I'm in trouble.
Hey,
What else is new?
By the way,
yes.
I cheated on you guys over the break.
Whoa,
You guys did.
you're admitting
What
this.
is that supposed to mean?
I did. I went on another. I can't really call it
Yes.
a podcast. It was a show.
What?
Yeah, I went on another show. It was like they were.
You mentioned something, and I was like, "What? I don't even believe you're doing it."
I
You
did.
broke your contract?
There's no contract.
John,
with us.
who's our lawyer?
Didn't you sign a contract, an
Sursick.
exclusivity contract?
There's no contract with us, John.
Wow.
Just because you're.
All right, I'm out.
Yeah, John's like, "There's
Anyway,
not."
I don't know.
And it's my birthday.
I don't think you guys saw it though.
No, clearly not.
Right?
I did not see it.
What
Must
show
be-
was this?
Must be a blockbuster.
It was a blockbuster.
It wasn't Joe Rogan.
No, it was a good one. What show? Let me tell. I'm not going to tell you because it would be mean. But
Shameless.
I got a funny story though. So I go on this show, and I'm like not telling you guys because I was like, man, they're gonna give me shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go on the show, and it's in a bar. I'm not even gonna mention where it is.
We were hoping they're going to pick you up.
It's live in front of a bar audience. Okay.
Wow.
And there's like not a lot of people in there because it's not really that big of a show. And I'm like, hey, you know, I buy everybody in the bar around.
That was nice.
Oh yeah, that's what I do.
Did you say I'm the locomotive?
They
as you
knew.
walked
They
in?
knew.
They
when
knew
I
you were the
walked in.
locomotive.
They knew what was up. So I walk in, I buy everybody around, and I'm sitting there, and it was like totally like helter skelter. They were like setting up the shot and everything because they don't normally do it in this location.
All right. Fair
So they're
enough.
setting up the shot, and then like I'm buying people around, and then I'm like, damn, am I gonna have to go too deep because these people are taking forever? So I didn't go too deep. So I sit down, and then the owner like gives me a drink, and I'm sitting there, and then they interview me for, let's just call it an hour-ish, right?
Okay, hour of the mayor's time.
And I'm like being provocative. I'm being funny.
This is evening, right? Like it's a
Yeah,
it's
like
bars
in the
going.
morning.
No.
I bought the bar around.
I think they consider themselves competitors of ours, and I'm
Okay.
like, and I'm
Fair enough.
actively,
Wow.
I'm
We have
actively,
And you went in-
and I'm actively screwing you
At
guys,
times
right?
it's like, yeah, you know,
And I'm giving them my best stuff because I had been off the air for a while, right? So I'm like free flowing. I'm like being a good guest. I'm killing it, dude. The people in the bar are laughing. I'm laughing. Hosts are laughing. I'm like, this thing's gonna be viewed thousands of times when I walk out of here. And
I don't know if we'd be happy, John.
So anyway, I leave, and
Okay.
then they didn't put it up, and I'm like, "What's up?" So I called the dude, and I'm like, "Dude, like I killed,
Oh, the dude.
I killed, like
The Big Lebowski.
right." And the guy's like, "Yeah, you were great." And I was like, well, "What's
All
up?
right.
Like I
When's
want to
it
share
showing?
it. I want to like piss off my fellow Potters, right?" And he said, "We realized after you left, we weren't taping the whole time."
Oh my.
Gotcha.
Oh.
What?
So he's like, "You want to do it again?" I'm like, "No."
Oh.
Yeah, dude. Are you
And you're
serious?
still admitting what you did. John?
Are you serious,
How
though?
about that for a production crew?
Doesn't this make you thankful for me?
I was
like,
thinking,
see?
I was thankful for you that day, John, for sure.
I mean, wow.
Both our
Yeah.
screens are black.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know if that
Dude.
means anything.
Cost me let's call it like a 3-hour round trip because it was an hour on the air. It was a jacked up system getting in and out, and I had to buy a round for the bar.
You're all for the better.
I'm in deep
like
at
a
this
plus.
point. And then he's like, "Yeah, dude, that A material you gave us that day, none of it. You know, it was just like we were."
Oh my.
That's ridiculous.
Can you imagine?
Why don't we do this in a
Nobody
bar?
taped it.
Yeah,
I
like
know.
that idea.
Lockpot on the road.
Yeah.
Oh.
We
All right.
started
So what's the name of the pod?
I can't.
Come on.
I can't. I
Don't
can't.
give them any. Don't give them any help. They're a competitor.
I know
John.
they're competitors, John.
Is it Hey My Man? Because I could see Ben Stombaugh forgetting to hit record.
I could
I
too.
can't,
Actually,
I can't go anywhere there.
Not Ben. Ben wouldn't.
I
do
love
that.
Ben though.
Yeah, I love Ben too.
He wouldn't do that.
No, he wouldn't.
All right, we got a lot to talk about today. We're gonna have a good show. Mayor had a little bit of a Twitter, Facebook episode yesterday that blew up. We're gonna talk about that.
By the way,
um,
my joke that we're gonna
Yes.
talk about, just the tweet, 30,000 people viewed it as of this morning.
the tweet.
The 30,000, just the tweet. That doesn't count the Facebook
Wow.
post, which got tons of action.
Somebody
also.
must be running for something.
It was a great, funny joke. It started off that way.
That's how you thought it was, and I thought
And then
it
it
was
started
pretty funny,
morphing
too.
itself into something different. So it's going to be like an interesting thing because this is like a reality show of running for the Senate now.
That's it.
And I dropped a funny ass joke yesterday morning.
That you thought was funny.
It was definitely funny. It was definitely funny. And then it morphed into a political
Like,
problem later in the
yeah,
afternoon.
and a snowflake offensive and all that.
So,
stuff,
like,
so.
how a kick-ass funny joke could turn into a political issue, that's going to be our next segment. So stick around
See
after
what
the
happens
ads.
when Marissa goes to a judicial conference.
I didn't even talk to her about it. She asked me, "Everything all right?" I said, "I'm like, everything's fine.
No
honey."
problem.
We got like
I mean, I
political
think
crisis because I'm trying
the
to be
internet's
funny.
blowing up over a tweet, but other than that,
30,000 people are, most of whom are happy. I was just trying to brighten people's
the
day.
bodily function joke. Those are all funny.
Fart jokes are
All right,
funny.
Don't get. All right, here we go.
Who would
Yeah.
have thought such a crude joke would go viral?
It
Like
wasn't
one of Tom's
crude.
most viral.
It wasn't one of my most viral. I've done far stupider things than that.
Yes.
Okay, but it was just it was
Trump
it
parade.
was-
You wouldn't call it crude humor?
I'd say crude humor.
Yeah.
Not even
Joe,
barely.
Joe,
Yeah, but,
is-
like,
is
what's
it
a word
10
that's
years
lesser
ago,
than crude?
maybe.
10 years ago?
Now it's not even
Maybe
crude.
you could. No, it's not.
Feels like
crude
that's
now.
not even crude. All right,
No.
do our ads. So
You know
we
what?
can come back to this.
You know what I love is the Trumpers were like lecturing me on how to be
Ah.
like, more compassionate, and I'm like, coming from a dude that supports Donald Trump, I mean, come on now, get
all-
out of here.
Everything's upside. The world's upside down.
So
It really
anyway,
is.
we're going to talk about that after our ads. So
Thank
stick
you.
around. We will be entertaining. I promise.
or
Oh.
offensive. We
Do I
don't
have
know
to-
which one yet.
You start.
Powering America, which is our premier sponsor. Thank you to Powering America. Season 4 is powered by our premier sponsor, Powering America. I said that 3 times. With
Powering
the-
America.
With the explosive growth of renewable
Explosive.
energy in America today, call Powering America to meet your needs.
Powering America.
For renewable energy in your home or office, including electric vehicle chargers and solar power solutions, Trust the electrical professionals of
Powering America.
visit
Powering America.
Visit poweringnorthwestindiana.org.
What's the name of that section? Or the
Powering
segment?
America.
That's what I thought.
I noticed, Kevin, you said like powering your office, just
Yes.
not this office. Look
Oh,
at that!
obviously.
Look at that long cord you've got. We couldn't get something closer to you.
Yeah,
I blame the producer.
There's 3
But
other cords
I think he
attached
took his
to the one
birthday
you can't
off.
see.
Yeah, we need an outlet closer to Kevin.
I agree.
Powering America.
Powering America. We need help in Lockpod Studio.
Yeah.
All right.
Keep it rolling, man. Try Electronics probably could do it too.
Try Electronics could easily do this. Try Electronics wants to be your complete communication provider. Try Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. We are dedicated to assisting our clients with their system integration needs. We have the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Try Electronics today at 1-800-722-6793. That's Try Electronics.
The extension cord would be no problem for Try Electronics.
1-800-722-6793.
Try Electronics.
That's right.
Midwest Air Duct Cleaning. That's a mouthful. Marinko.
That's a mouthful.
Wow. I like that. It's like a birthday whisper. At Midwest Air Duct Cleaning, your health is our number one priority. Midwest Air Duct Cleaning is dedicated to providing top-notch quality services at an affordable price. Their technicians have been trained to shelter the members of your household from potential airborne contaminants. I wonder how they do that. If you would like more information on how to protect the lungs of your home, call Marinko
You know,
and his team at 219-671-8868.
I used Marinko in Midwest Air Duct Cleaning.
Did you get the lungs of your home cleaned?
I'll be honest with you. My allergies have been way better.
And you're an allergy guy. You have allergies.
Absolutely.
Significantly.
I mean, that's no BS. And I hadn't done it in a really, really long time. And when
Yeah.
I say really long time, I think I mean never, actually. Which, since I lived in the house,
we're the same, and I never got hooked up with Marinko. It's my fault.
and then they sucked it all out. And I have dogs and everything, so I'm sure there's dog hair. and
Yeah.
it's like all that,
Plus all the years and years of mites and whatever else
Like
are in
skin.
your
Yeah, all
whatever
that.
else gets in there.
Because everybody's skin gets in the air duct system.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Right in the studio.
because you're just constantly shedding.
Awesome.
And it's going right in the air duct system, and
Wonderful.
you're breathing it for years.
He's on a bodily function issue thing right now, John. We're going to get all into this.
I'm like being careful.
Yes, I see that.
I'm not changing, by the
No.
way.
We-
Because,
we-
honestly,
that's what we love about you.
I managed to be
You never
mayor
know
of
what's gonna
Hammond
happen.
for 18 years.
and
And
counting.
every once in a while, I would offend people and say stupid shit. I acknowledge. But, people realize that I'm a real person and I'm not some fake asshole that, is constantly afraid of what comes out of his mouth. And I'm not going to be.
I think,
And, I know that may offend
that's
some
a
people.
positive.
I agree with you, by the way. I'm not going to be some fake asshole. And if you think other candidates are stronger because they're more refined than I am, then you got options. That's a good thing. In a Democratic primary, you got options. There's 2 other people running for U.S. Senate.
I always
besides
say
myself.
this about. I bring the story
And
about,
they're good people, by the
about
way.
Tom all the time, and that's. I remember back in the day when Facebook was new, and people down in Indianapolis told Tom, "You got to get off that Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Stop putting everything up on Facebook."
Yeah.
I mean, and Tom was like, "No, this is my way to actually get my word out
To
because
communicate.
regular media won't get my story out.
That's right.
So I'm going to do it."
And it worked out all right.
Now we want people to actually get off Facebook.
I'm the second longest serving mayor in the state of Indiana. right
Whoa.
now. Second longest. The mayor,
Carmel?
Yeah, he's been there forever. Brainerd.
Yeah, Mayor Brainerd.
He's a Republican mayor of Carmel. Been there a long time. So I'm doing something right.
2 more ads.
I
We're
can't
almost
wait
done.
to hear how it went from Tom sends a text to the group thread saying, "Look at this amazing post," and then I go on Facebook and there's an apology. I want to see.
Oh, we're
great.
gonna get all through
I want to
it.
see what led to that.
There was a whole series. It starts off like this, and then there was I think we can't go there
Yes.
right now. We will just stick around.
And the
That's good.
story's
That's a good
over by
story.
the time we got through 3 ads.
Yeah.
Calumet Brewery. Calumet Brewery wants to tell you about Michelob Ultra. Tell me. Well, let me tell you. Michelob Ultra is a superior light beer with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories.
What?
Yes. All while being one of the fastest growing brands in the region. Or you could try Ultra Pure Gourd.
Gourd.
Or you could try Ultra Pure
Gourd.
Gold.
That sounds like a tasty
Like
flavor.
squash?
Not
It's
gourd.
It's the autumn flavor. The
All
gourd.
right. Let's just edit that part out and we'll come back. Or try Ultra Pure Gold. an organic, light lager with only 2.5 carbs and 85 calories, brewed for your healthy lifestyle. Enter to win Michelob Ultra Golf Bag through calbrew.com. That's CALBREW.com. Check out Calumet Brewery's Facebook page for details.
All right. Tortillas Nuevo Leon. Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard of Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia, de todo corazón.
Eli.
That
All
makes
right.
me want a gourd lager.
So let's get into the gourd.
Makes you what?
A gourd.
A gourd
lager. All right, so let's get into this. You arrived at work yesterday.
Yes. And,
City Hall.
Yep. I have a system. When I get to City Hall, I take the stairs down, take the elevator up. Makes my life easier because stairs down is easy. Let's be honest.
I mean, you're a triathlete. You can do what you want.
But I could go
Do you
up
jog them?
if I choose. No, I do sort of jog down, but I go up
You do sort of jog down now that I think about
because
it.
it's easy.
Be
You're
careful.
going down. It's bad on your knees, though.
Well, I do it nonetheless.
So anyway,
I
this
do
is the
this to
system.
save our.
This is the mayoral system.
And
jogging.
it's our crappy elevator system in City Hall. We only have one elevator that goes from the bottom floor to any of the top floors. So I take it up because I have to go up 2 floors,
Sure.
which is lazy, but I do it.
Well,
This is
you know
just
what?
I
At the
do.
end of the day, you're the mayor, and this is this is your system.
So I come to work and I push the button and I wait, and it's taking a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, I could have gone up the stairs. While I was waiting for this, I would probably already be on the second
Sure.
floor, but I'm extra like digging in on the laziness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And finally, ding, it opens. Nobody's in there. This is important, by the way, okay? Because it's going to come into like a little mystery later on.
All right.
And I step into the
You
elevator.
enter the elevator.
And I push the
shaft.
button real quick always to close so I can get that door closed and get on with my
Elevator.
life. So I push door close and it closes and I realized I got a problem. The elevator smelled like somebody rank just let go. Like right before I walked in, it was still a little warm.
Like the first floor. Someone.
Yeah. Like they got out and just left it all in the elevator. And I happened to be the next dude.
I wonder if they were chuckling as they walked out, or if it was.
It was a good one. It was one of those where they had to know. That was a good one. And they went off on their life. I don't know if it's an employee. I don't know if it's a contractor.
just a visitor, maybe.
Something could have died in there, though. It was really bad. And now I'm trapped because the door closed. This is a slow elevator. And I got to go up 2 floors. And I'm like holding my breath. I was not wearing a mask. We don't have a mask mandate in City Hall. I was wishing for one, right?
You're like, I'm instituting the mask
Dying.
mandate.
So I did the T-shirt over the face. And I'm
Wow.
like, wow. It's like bad, though. I'm like, my eyes are like watering a little.
Come on.
And I get off on the second floor and I go right into my office. And this is like the number one thing on my mind. I walk into the girls and I'm like, somebody just died on the elevator. And I told them the story and they just died
They started
laughing.
laughing.
Both of them. And I'm like, I got a joke here.
He's like,
This
I'm
is
onto something.
This is a tweet. So I go back in my office. I'm like, you guys think I should tweet something like this? And they're both like, this is hilarious, Mayor. People would love it if you do something like this.
Both the girls in your office.
Yes. And you were nowhere around, which is usually a good sign.
That you're going to get away with something
You
that I
would kill that joke right off the bat, right? So like
Maybe.
So I go back in my office and I tweet because I start off with the Twitter. If I could tweet one and it works, I could just transfer that to Facebook and kill, right? And I did my tweet without even editing or anything. It was down to 0. It was the perfect length tweet.
140 characters. Is that what it is,
Perfect
John?
length tweet.
210.
It was all the way down to 0. I had no room for a exclamation point, period, nothing, right? I walk in, I read it to the girls, and they die. And I said, God is smiling on me right now because I typed this whole thing in there with no edits, and it was at 140 characters perfectly.
You want to read what it said?
But like the girls were like, you're right. God
Do
is.
it.
This is a sign from God. This
The
is
Lord's will.
It is the Lord's will, and I dropped it.
Spread the news.
Spread the news.
Good, spread
This
the
is
good
like,
news.
because
of the
honestly,
Lord.
if it would have been like 30 characters too long, I'd have had to edit, and it would have been more
It's
difficult.
probably not as good.
So I drop it on Twitter,
All right.
and I drop it on Facebook, and then I let you know about an hour later.
This
Okay.
is all true.
So this this is what it says. To the person that farted this AM in main elevator at Hammond City Hall, you should be ashamed of yourself. The elevator was inoperable for the next 20 minutes while it aired out.
Like fart shaming.
I'd like to remind you that we do have cameras in City Hall and can easily use them for identification. Take that as a warning. Hashtag never fart in elevators.
From the mayor's personal Facebook page.
Right. And it was it was a funny warning to people that, hey, first off, if this was you, I got you. I was your victim,
Do
right?
people really think?
Secondly, when I was talking about cameras, I was talking about like we have cameras in City Hall that I could identify faces, but I couldn't get into it because I'm down to 0 characters left.
Okay.
So I just leave it out there. We do have cameras in City Hall, right? Because
Right.
this is important also because this morphs into something else. So anyway, we drop it and it starts like instantly getting action, right?
Immediately.
And then, of course, within the first half hour, I have Renee that hits me with the, this is a message, it's sort of a mailbag. Do you ever think so people have health conditions and can't hold them in? You are a joke.
Wow.
That elevator comment was terrible. I have serious health condition. I have no colon, and now in October have to go for more MRI. They found more tumors and starting chemo possibly.
That's a serious situation.
Yeah, it sucks,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I responded, and that's fine. We don't need to get into my response, but let's just say maybe I inflamed.
Oh, shit. So I should not have this up on the screen.
Yeah, maybe I inflamed the
You
situation.
can't see
Responded
it,
with
John.
the cat banjo?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
then,
it's out
uh,
there now.
That could be considered insensitive.
it probably was. It was
Yeah.
early, right? And then it got more serious.
So when you were at that point, were you like, okay, are you like, man, I don't know why people can't take
no,
a joke?
I'm like,
You're just like,
this chick is out of her mind. I'm
Right.
obviously being funny, and some people are just too goddamn sensitive. That's how I take it, right?
For the record, when things are in our shared note for our pod, I take that as put it up on the screen.
It is what it is. Okay. So anyway, and then we had like the next phase we go through is some people thought that I was insinuating we had fart detecting cameras in our elevator.
Oh,
like a
like
heat
in the,
sensor.
There's a
like
good-
in the Predator?
This is honest to God the truth. There was people that
that
are
was American Rescue Plan money
Yeah.
used for the fart.
So like Keisha says, hey, I'm not holding in nothing. If I got to release it, then so be it. What y'all going to do, arrest me for farting in the elevator? And then there was a lady that says, Rhonda says, girl, please tell me this is a joke. And then Keisha says, I don't know, but I do know this, that if I have to release one of them silent but deadlies, then oh well.
So some people are having some fun.
Ernest said, that's the most dumbest shit I ever heard. A camera in the elevator to find out who farted. Get a life. And then,
Get a life, Mayor.
yeah. Okay. So most people all along, they knew it was a joke, right? Most people did. Let's say 90% of the people knew it was a joke. Probably like 8% of the people thought I had these special cameras in City Hall. And then there was a couple percent of the people that
We're just pissed off.
just pissed off, right? Like the one we mentioned earlier, Renee. People like these knew all along it was a joke. John puts out, I was not in Hammond this morning. I have an alibi. Right? Micah says, this is a real post? And then question mark. And he said, dude, smiling, laughy face. Angie says, I love him. Okay. So
I love him.
I love him. Thank you, Angie. I love you too. So then this is like later in the afternoon.
And it was getting like a lot of
Like
traction.
My tweet
Like
has
blue check mark follow.
Crazy
blue
amount
check
of
mark
traction.
retweet. Like
Yeah,
a
blue
few
check mark retweets.
What?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue check mark
Who,
retweets.
like-
With
Like Kanye or
like-
what?
No.
What are you talking about?
tens of
Not
thousands
that,
of
not that,
followers.
not that blue check mark. But
No, but like political
yeah.
Wow.
like pundits
Oh my.
with tens of thousands
This
of
guy
followers.
is running for Senate.
And
This is Todd Young's
vote for
opponent.
Stuff
Stuff like that, right?
That was a tweet. This is Todd Young's opponent.
He's
the,
got my
the
vote.
fart guy, right? Okay, so then Kevin starts coming in and he's like rubbing his hair and stuff like that. And I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
so we're
Oh,
like,
no.
damage control starts to set in. That's the next phase. It's like this is going a lot bigger than we thought. Like I said, there's 30,000 people that have seen the tweet. So then it's damage control, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is my damage control. I am sorry that my attempt at humor. This is in like 4 in the afternoon, probably like.
Read the one that you replied to though on this. This is interesting, right? This guy.
Oh,
this guy.
Democrat, Indiana
Yeah.
says, I love a good sense of humor, but it's hard to take you seriously as a candidate for the U.S. Senate with tweets like this. And there was some like posts like that, like
Yeah.
this guy's a joke. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
all
yeah.
we got.
Right.
You know, there's other people in the race. Screw this guy, which is
Mhm.
fine. I mean, you want to dump me because I have a sense of humor, then that's fine.
Yep.
You know what? You know. So anyway, I respond to this.
Don't be funny.
Because there was like a thread of people along this line that were very upset that I was going to be the nominee or I'm supposed to be a Democratic candidate. And how could I have fart jokes if I'm going to be a serious candidate against Todd Young? So I said, okay, I'm going to respond to this one about the guy that says he has a good sense of humor, but it's hard to take me seriously. I tweet, I'm sorry that my attempt at humor this AM offended some people. I certainly wasn't intending to hurt anybody's feelings, just trying to start people's day off with a smile. For those of whom my joke brightened their day, thank you. For those I offended in any way, I apologize.
And you were serious about that.
I was serious about that. And I was like shocked. I mean, I shouldn't have been shocked that people get offended because we get offended too goddamn easy. Like, seriously, right? I'm just obviously being funny. Anybody that knows me, I mean, I'm sort of famous with my practical jokes. We did a nude beach press release that got covered by Chicago media, which
And
was
faked them
funny,
out, which was
funny
great.
as hell. We did the
Bubble over the dome
bubble over
over-
our Lost Marsh. We were using the American Rescue Plan money. It pissed people off also, but it
That
was
was
funny.
also good.
Right? So, like, I have a little track record here of being funny. I'd like to think that Lockpod, we're somewhat funny in here. I'd hope so, because we're certainly not
We
that
all laugh
serious.
at ourselves.
I think we're funny, right?
Hopefully others laugh a little bit. We get a lot of smiley emojis on our chat, so that's good.
Okay, so responses to apology text. Christine, I was stuck by a train in Hessville when I read it. Definitely brightened my morning. Kelly said, it was a fart joke. How is that offensive? We all toot from time to time, and we have all been in an elevator when somebody has dropped a bomb. Emily, I think it was hilarious. Even my kids were cracking up at that post. You definitely brightened our day. Connie, it was a joke. Oh, my God. I needed the laugh. Thanks for having a sense of humor.
Those are all nice.
Lana, I was laughing my ass off. Christine, I was laughing too. Alex, I thought that was hilarious. Somebody crop dusted the elevator stealth mode style and casually let others take the fall. Melanie, some people are just overly sensitive and can't take a joke. It was hilarious. Erica, I laughed hysterically. This is a funny one. Mike, I suffer from IBS, intestinal bowel syndrome, right? Irritable, yeah. I suffer from IBS. It only added to my claustrophobia and natural fear of elevators. He is a friend of
classic.
mine, by the way. It only added to my claustrophobia and natural fear of
I
elevators.
like that your mom chimed in.
My mom. P.S. We all know you're a jokester at heart. Anna.
She would know.
People need to lighten up. Life is too short to be offended by the status. You are who you are, silly sometimes and not polished for everybody else's likings. Others should take note and follow your style. May have me liking more politicians and people in general if they did. Did you light up the elevator? Blah, blah, blah. So anyway.
On and on. So maybe it's time for a poll, John. We haven't had a poll in season 4 yet.
Season 4 premiere
That's
poll.
true.
Were you offended by Mayor Tom's fart post?
I don't know. You don't want to be leading.
Oh, all right.
How about this?
Was Mayor-
Once can you do like degrees, John, like A, B, C, D?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, John's getting the
Do you think, I don't know. Is it unbecoming of a U.S. Senate candidate? How about that?
oh.
Let's give him a chance to say yes. It's unbecoming.
Did Mayor Tom's fart joke hurt his Senate chances?
I like it.
Okay.
And then you could do like very much so, somewhat,
Not at all.
not at all.
Neutral.
Yeah. We'll do like 4 or 5 choices, and we'll see like the degree to how bad I messed up my campaign with my fart joke yesterday.
All right. Well, John's getting the.
I would like to ask, I won't.
Yes.
I'll create the poll you wanted me to create, but do you think Tom should have issued an apology? Because
It's funny. We actually talked about that a little bit, and
I thought I was the one pushing.
Tom was pushing it.
Because
and so-
honestly, I had no intention to hurt anybody's feelings. I had no intention to like let people think that I was like going to be a crappy candidate because I made a joke. I'll be honest with you. I think it makes me a better candidate. That I'm not afraid to be funny and like to lighten the mood. I think it makes me appealable to people that would be willing to vote for a Democrat, but they just haven't for a long time.
Yeah,
But I
and-
need to be appealing to people like that as well.
John, there was part of the discussion that was like, why issue this? I mean, it's not like it's not, to me. It wasn't like something that was over the top offensive, but to some it was, and I think Tom fell on the side of like, you know what? I just don't want people to think I'm absolutely don't understand that it could be offensive to some people. So he issued the apology, and I think it's probably the right thing to do, just in case.
So here are the options: no, lighten up, somewhat, yes, he'll never win now. How about that?
But like do 5 degrees, like in the middle.
Well, I
is
can only do 4.
Okay.
So
Facebook, can you let us do 5,
Yeah,
please?
right.
Right
So
now.
say 'em again. Say 'em again.
No, lighten up,
I like
somewhat, yes,
How
he'll
about
never win now.
that. All right.
So that's the 4th one.
That's the
How
fourth.
about
That's the
the
most.
4th one? He wasn't going to win anyway.
I think someone put that in chat.
He,
Did they?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm
Nice.
not gonna put that. Okay, here we
Yeah,
go.
some
Nice guy.
Yeah, some big Trumper yesterday was like, "Thank you. You're going to be such an easy person to beat." And it's like, yeah, like lessons in humanity from a Trump supporter, right?
Of course.
Right. But like to the
Compassion.
to the people,
compassionate Trump.
Yeah.
to the people in my party that think that this is like a losing formula, I beg to differ. I really do. I think that
I'm with you.
being a standard button-up politician is not what people are looking for. Being like the perfect politician that has a perfect message perfectly with the perfect hairstyle and the perfect everything is not what people are looking for. Because if they were, they would have never voted for the orange guy from
I
Florida.
agree with you, and that's what I was just going to say. That's one of the reasons Donald Trump got elected, because America was fed up with buttoned-up Washington, D.C. folks.
I voted.
And now you got Biden.
Well, listen, man.
I'll tell you this, John. I think Joe Biden. I mean, Joe Biden to me he may have been in Washington a long time, but he's also to me a pretty real guy, real person.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't seem so buttoned up, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's got emotion. He's real. He's got a good background, blue collar background. I like that. But.
I like him too.
All right.
You know what, though? I understand why people are upset about the Afghanistan situation.
Yeah, I mean that's so.
But
deep.
like,
There's
I think it's.
many
I think
layers
it's.
to that.
I agree to blame Joe Biden for like the fact that we're there. To blame Joe Biden, like, because whoever. The thing that really frustrates me about Afghanistan is I have to give him credit for having the courage to pull out, and it was ugly. Okay, and everybody knew it was going to be ugly. Probably Trump knew it was going to be ugly, and that's why he didn't do it. Because if Trump does it, he freaking and we have a similar type of outcome where people are getting killed, and people, it's a mad scramble to get people out. If Trump does it and then runs for re-election, he definitely gets beat. So Trump prolongs the war during his presidency because he's afraid to make that decision, leaving it to Biden, who has the option of prolonging the war until the next presidency or getting us out now, even though it's ugly, and he pulls the trigger and gets us out now, and it was ugly. You got me? So, like, give him credit for getting us the hell out of there because it's political not to get us out. The easy thing to do for President Biden is let the war go on for 4 more years, and we keep on spending $300 million a day in Afghanistan and, equipping our troops and building up their country, and now we're cutting off that flow. And it was ugly, and it's a black eye on our country. But, like, it's not Joe Biden's black eye to bear. It's everybody, all the presidents that got us there, they kept us there, and haven't got us out. It's their black eye.
Yeah, I mean it goes a long way. You're like I said, it's an onion. You can peel the layers back all the way to, George Bush. And
That's right.
He was there through Obama, through Trump.
We're both huge Obama supporters. It was
Absolutely.
the best presidency I've seen in my lifetime. He could have got us out, and he didn't.
I mean,
and
at
I'm
that
like,
point,
that
if-
doesn't mean I think he was a bad president. It means that part of his presidency was not a total success, like other parts of it.
I mean,
were.
looking back, right? Monday morning quarterbacking. It's the nation building part of it ended up being a failure, but it didn't mean that it didn't help people along the way. I mean, if you look back over 20 years, there are a lot of women in Afghanistan that are now educated. There are a lot of people that got opportunities.
Can you imagine?
There are a lot of, So
how about this? The women in Afghanistan. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go.
The women in Afghanistan that were allowed to dress normally, and that were allowed to go to school, and that were allowed to drive and
Become
stuff like
doctors
that.
and lawyers.
Now all of a sudden they're in a burqa and they can't leave without a male sponsor.
Well, I mean, we're going to see what happens.
I agree with you. I think
We're gonna see
long
what
term that's not going to work because the women got a taste of freedom and now they're locked up.
Yeah, and that's just one element of what was going on over there. And
But that's not a long term.
Forever.
That's not a long term model for success because they know what being free is and they know what democracy looks like. And
if that ends up, like you said, Mayor, if that ends up being something that changes the way things are over there, even under Taliban rule, then that's a good thing.
It's not going to make it easy for the Taliban to rule women like
The
they
way they
did
did.
when the women know that there's other parts of the world where women have all these rights and we're being repressed here in Afghanistan by this government.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to do a knee-jerk reaction like 2 weeks after a ridiculous, pull. Now, I don't mean ridiculous in the sense that it was a failure, just that the speed of having to pull out. I think they got 136,000 people out, which is amazing in 10 days. And everyone's kind of has their opinions right now. And, obviously we all think it could have been done better, but under the circumstances it was done. And now what we have to do is figure out as time goes on, looking back at Afghanistan, what happened and how did it progress or not? So time will tell. How'd the poll go, John?
Massive responses. 92% say no, lighten up.
There you go.
And
I have. What's funny? I think it's about similar on social media as well. There was like a vast, overwhelming majority of people that were like hilarious,
90-10 probably.
and then like there was definitely a silent minority that were livid.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those are your haters anyway. So.
No, I mean a lot of them were from my party.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, interesting.
like the far left of my party was not a happy camper, and I want everybody's vote. Don't get me wrong, okay? But like, I'm not a robot either. I don't know. I'm not going to get into stuff like that. We'll get into it as the issues come. But
Let's do our ads, and we'll come back
let's
with
go.
some more.
We want to talk a little Todd Rokita.
Oh, our
After
favorite
break.
Attorney General.
I love Todd Rokita subjects.
Former Congressman,
I'm not
former
gonna say
Secretary of State,
Yeah,
now our Attorney General. And
he's trying to be the former Attorney General.
so he can be governor.
Yeah, that's his goal. In fact, he's campaigning every single day on Hoosier taxpayer dollars to be our next governor. So let's follow Todd.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and outside patio. Brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, and corporate parties. Byway is conveniently located just off of 8094 in the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu.
Misprint. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and within budget. Misprint's experience in technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing and sign solutions you can count on. Rick Baltensberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. They have 2 convenient locations in Munster and in Hammond.
That was an interesting end. Misprint.
What am I supposed to do?
I don't know.
It was
Thank
that.
you,
Am I
Kellogg.
supposed to just like freelance?
Sure, I usually do, but Misprint Printing.
Yeah, the home of the 3-foot high card, right?
That's right. Challenger Learning Center.
We could have got John a 3-foot birthday card.
Oh,
That would have taken planning and foresight.
Thanks, guys.
happy birthday, John.
Next year. We got something to look forward to, big guy.
Challenger Learning Center. Explore the far
That was
reaches
the evil
of space.
Next
That
year.
was. Wait till September 3rd next year. That's the producers.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Explore the far reaches of space and engage in hands-on learning at Challenger Learning Center of Northwest Indiana. Connecting with Challenger Northwest Indiana is easy. To learn more about Challenger Center and their upcoming events, visit clcnwi.com. That's clcnwi.com, or connect on social media at Challenger NWI, or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Challenger Learning Center. And last but not least is the mayor.
Sorry. I was already in our
We're
next
doing a
topic.
bang-up job.
Grisolia's Concrete. Grisolia's Concrete was voted #1 in the Times Best of the Region in 2020 and 2021. Grisolia's Concrete specializes in all of your concrete projects, and they have been using the original cement finish in the California style.
I'm offended by you singing.
We'll issue an
Please
apology.
apology.
Apology forthcoming.
Knows how to party. Since 1972, and also offers stamped and colored concrete. For more information or a project quote, call Grisolia's Concrete at 219-659-4127.
Thank you to our sponsors.
We should
All
get
right.
paid more for our ads. We're underperforming financially. We are, dude.
Well,
we
that's
give
why
this
I
stuff
have
away.
this.
We give this stuff away.
iPad needs a plug.
It's consuming more and more of our podcast time.
That's
you
all right.
know?
Good work, Steve.
Let's talk some Todd Rokita.
Let's go.
All right. So
This happened over the break.
this did happen over the break. We didn't have a chance to cover it last show. Todd Rokita launches an Attorney General investigation into Chinese propaganda program. Where?
Using your tax dollars.
Valparaiso University. That's where. That's right. Beijing
The Lutherans.
is trying to infiltrate the Lutherans, starting in Valpo, and they're going to work their way out of Valpo and take over the entire state of Indiana. And Todd Rokita is there.
He's on it.
He's there to save us. Thank you, General.
Like a Red Scare.
General Rokita. You know that's what you're supposed to call him, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because you used to call
It's Greg Zeller.
Greg Zeller.
I used to do it, and he would laugh his butt off because I went up to him the first time.
You guys had a good relationship.
Because I always say, like, hey, what's up, Mayor? What's up, Governor? What's up, Senator? What's up, what up? You know? And then I'm like, what the hell do you call an Attorney General?
Yes. And you
then
found out.
I went up. I was like, Attorney General Zeller. What does one call an Attorney General? He says, actually, because he had like,
Sure.
Actually, most people would call me General. And I was like,
Wow.
get out of here. That's what you call
General
it?
Zeller.
Yeah. That's the proper way to
So it's
address
General
it.
Rokita.
Yeah. General freaking Rokita.
Wow.
Sounds like
Yeah.
something from the
It's like, yeah. I don't know.
vestige of some. All right, General
So anyway,
Rokita.
General Rokita, Indiana's Attorney General, is launching an investigation into Valparaiso University's association with the Confucius Institute. That's right. That's the plan for China. Take
So-
over Valpo first, and then
Slowly but
expand
surely.
your way out from Valpo and
Spies.
take over the world
Reds-
from Valparaiso
The
University.
PRC Red Scare.
The institute are alleged to function as a propaganda arm of the Chinese Communist Party, according to Rikita's office. Hoosiers deserve answers and transparency into the impact of these institutes on our schools and students, says General Rikita. Our investigation seeks to uncover whether the Chinese government has attempted to exert political influence and manipulate the attitudes and belief of Hoosiers through their Confucius institutes. Our office will use every tool at our disposal to protect Hoosiers and put liberty into action.
Wow.
Wow,
That sound like
thank
a
God for
campaign
you.
platform
Thank
or
you.
what?
General Rikita, I sleep better at night
Knowing that the PRC
You are
is going to be outed by you.
stick it to Valparaiso, General Rikita. We don't want the damn commies in Porter County.
Yeah.
Isn't this
I
unbelievable?
hope he doesn't come after Chinese restaurants.
that could be next.
Oh my God!
I didn't think
The
about
people
that,
deserve
Joe.
answers.
That's where the
You know-
communists are hiding.
You know damn well that's next on the list.
Right behind the
I'm stocking
beef
up.
chow mein.
I'm stocking up.
Those fortune cookies, they got
Get
those
your egg rolls
Confucius
now.
sayings.
What the hell?
Jill, I didn't think about that.
We have some good Chinese restaurants in the region.
Yeah,
too.
we do. It's in Hammond
Oh my
and the
goodness.
region.
We're in trouble.
Look out, Chinese restaurants.
General
General
Rikita.
Rikita could be on your heels.
I just want to say, General, thank you for keeping us Hoosiers safe from the Confucius Institute and those dancers that dance and perform.
Put on music.
Yeah, they scare me.
You know, when we I dug into this a little bit more, and it's a pretty interesting issue, believe it or not. There has been a ongoing criticism of these Confucius Institutes around the country. There's been members of Congress who have asked for investigations into them, thinking that it's a way for either Chinese spies to come in, or that they're because
Those
there's
dancers are Chinese spies.
well, who knows? Who knows?
What?
Maybe some of these professors. And the Chinese government, a while ago, I think in maybe decades ago, started this maybe 10, 15 years ago, and started coming into universities and saying, hey, we'll give you 100, 150 grand a year. We'll provide some teachers to teach basic Chinese, bring in some Chinese culture. And then over time, because education freedom is repressed in China, there was some criticism of these Confucius Institutes because it was wait a minute, you're doing it this way in America, but you're not even allowing your educational freedom in China. So it was kind of in and out. There's been a bill in Congress that said you can't get Department of Defense funding for if you have one of these institutes. I mean, it's not as clear as that, but so Rikita kind of jumped on the bandwagon. You probably heard
Yeah.
about it either through when he was in Congress as a congressman for our great state, or with other attorneys general. And to me, it was a way, I guess, to get a nice splash in the paper.
Yeah.
But to me, it just seems like there's nothing wrong with learning about other cultures. I mean, when I was
agree.
in college, I took all kinds of classes on communism and communist economy
There it
because I
is.
wanted to know
there
about
it is. No wonder.
See, I'm
No
hiding.
wonder. See,
I'm just hiding
coming
in your
after
midst.
you next.
He might be. And
You're
the
trying
reason
to
was because
exert-
I wanted to learn about
you're
it.
trying to influence people through Lockpod, you
It
communist.
It could be.
Oh, my
It's the
gosh.
Great Red Scare of Lockpod.
Oh my goodness.
McCarthyism.
General Rikita is listening. You know he is.
If he is, he might come after me to find out what Professor Rubenstein taught me at the University of Pennsylvania. But I can tell you, I think this is a great way to, if you don't learn about other cultures and you sit and you become xenophobic, I mean, I think that's a bad thing for
That
Americans.
describes our former president.
Yeah, I mean, you just close in, and don't become, cultured or worldwide. You got to know. You
China.
have a global. I'm not a globalist.
I went to
Say that
China.
again.
I went to China
Wuhan.
for 10 days, and I thought it was gorgeous, amazingly beautiful. I loved the people I met. It was one of the best trips of my life.
It doesn't mean you support Chinese communism or
think-
the government.
No, that's
and
the
their
headline,
repression.
though. Tom admires
Tom
China.
admires
I loved it. I loved
Senate
it.
hopeful admires China.
Yes.
I loved it. I loved being there. I loved learning. I loved how the people, they love Americans. They were very interested. The people that I met, and I met hundreds and hundreds of people, regular, normal people, not part of the government, okay? They loved America. They were interested in America. They wanted to learn more about America. And the ones that I was getting a colder reception from, the government.
Sure.
They were literally following us around and filming us. And we were on TV a lot. Like we were literally on the news everywhere we went.
Yeah, I mean, the Chinese government is repressive. The Chinese government, it lacks human rights, basic human rights. They're repressive, and they're communist, and it is what it is, but that doesn't mean you can't have cultural exchanges with another country. That's how you learn about them.
That's right. And Valparaiso University received $1.1 million from the Chinese government over a 10-year period.
Whoa.
So you're talking like $100,000 a year.
Which is kind of what I read, that
Right.
they average about $100,000 a
right.
year.
So like for $100,000 a year, Attorney General Rikita is insinuating that Valparaiso University, which is financially struggling, by the way. They closed their law school a couple years ago. Like, they're doing everything they can to stay alive, and they got this asshat attorney general that's like up their butt because they get $100,000 from China so that they could help teach their students more about Chinese culture, which is important, by the way, to learn more about the world. A college graduate, like, what's wrong with this guy?
There's been a lot of pressure on American institutions to close these things, and Valpo, they folded. This is what Dr. Padilla, who the president of VU, they issued a statement, and one of the things he said was, and he was talking about the wave of closures at other universities. This wave of closures and other factors above are the reasons for my closing CIVU, not the Attorney General's investigation into it. The purpose of that investigation is to determine if Valpo did not disclose its financial ties with the foreign source. And he said that Valpo has followed the law by regularly reporting to the Department of Education China's funding of the CIVU. While we strongly dispute the allegations of the Indiana Attorney General, we will respond appropriately to his request for documents and information. And he talks about the negative scrutiny that goes around this regarding Asian and Pacific Islander communities around the country and locally. Their Confucius Institute got vandalized when this story broke.
Valparaiso's.
Yeah, Valparaiso's did.
When this story broke, it gets vandalized.
And it goes back to, you saw what happened with, all these events around the COVID when people were attacking Asian Americans over the Chinese flu or whatever. You got to be sensitive to this kind of stuff and be aware. But congratulations on General Rikita's closure of the Confucius Institute in Valpo.
Thank you, General. Thank you, sir. May I have another? How we doing over there, birthday boy?
I'm feeling good. I'm here.
Hey, we want to update you on a story we did last show, and then we're probably going to be cutting it a little short today. But last show we talked about my son and the school he goes to, which is in Chicago Heights. They've been wearing masks from day one of the pandemic. They started going to school last, I want to say
March?
Yeah, last March. And then went the rest of the year, last March. And then Kevin, your son's been going to school since last March also?
Well, yeah, so they had
Catholic
the option,
school, right?
Yep. Well, no, at Munster.
Yeah,
and they had an option to go or not go, and we chose to send Charlie to school.
And he had to wear a mask.
Had to wear a mask. They had screens for a while, but they were there.
Did they have any outbreaks?
They did not.
Munster?
You'd see like one or two, and then they'd say everybody else is fine. We're still going to continue with the hybrids.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think anything like that happened with Pat in his school. Jill, do you know anybody that's been going to school recently?
I'm coaching at Whiting. The kids all have to wear masks during the day.
They have to.
They have to.
Even to go to school?
Yeah, in the building. Before practice, they all have to self-temperature check and fill out a COVID form. They have to mask up during practice still. 2 of my kids last week were exposed in class, didn't test positive. They still had to stay out of school for a week in quarantine, and then they're back.
So when they're in the what sport is that? Volleyball?
Volleyball.
Okay, so when they play, they don't have to wear a mask, though, right?
Most of them do, honestly.
They don't care, though.
When they play.
It doesn't matter that much.
So
they have the option when they play?
I believe it is preferred that they wear a mask, but
that's crazy.
It's hot in a lot of the gyms, so it's not.
Because it's indoor. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know with soccer, nobody's wearing a mask.
But it's outdoor, though, right?
Yeah, it's outdoor.
Right.
True. Good point.
But like in basketball, I don't remember kids wearing masks.
No. And the rules, I think, were during participation.
Right. The IHSA said during the game, you don't have to wear them if you're on the bench. You're supposed to have them.
Gotcha.
For indoor.
So anyway, last show we talked about how Crown Point schools, they went through a whole debate, just like we see across America right now, about we shouldn't have to wear a mask in school. It's our kids' decision. And when they say, okay, it's optional if you wear a mask or not, what happens is nobody wears a mask because you don't want to be that one kid that's wearing a mask and everybody else is not wearing a mask. Because it's just peer pressure. These are kids.
High school is perfect for that situation, right?
You're a kid. You're like, honey, wear your mask. You're like, Mom,
right.
I'm going to be the only kid in class wearing a mask. You're like, okay, honey, go ahead and... It's a pandemic. Take your mask off because we don't want you to feel unsafe, right? It's just natural. I'm not like, that's just how...
That's social. That's the social situation in high school.
That's right. So nobody's wearing a mask, of course, even though it's quote-unquote optional, right? And then they're shocked when 900 kids are in quarantine, 2 weeks into the school year because they spread the Delta variant all over the place. Well, we talked about that on the last show, and I'm happy to report now masks are now required in Crown Point schools. So... just like the school that my son goes to, just like the school Kevin's son goes to, just like in Whiting High School, if you wear masks in school, there's no outbreaks. It's
Yeah,
just a fact.
I think last show I reported that elementary schools in Munster were doing masks, and now it's high school as well. So everybody in Munster High has a mask on all day.
And think about it. If you're in high school, at least you have the option to get the shot. Like Patrick's got the shot.
Sure, yeah, Charlie does too.
Right, Patrick's got the shot. But like you're talking about little kids. Like my nephew goes to Timothy Ball Elementary in Crown Point, right? And nobody wants Jordan to get sick.
Nope.
And
he
so,
doesn't
like,
want him to get anybody else sick.
That's
by
right.
the way.
So like all these kids are spreading germs amongst themselves because some of them are coming from a household where the parents are unvaccinated, and then they're passing it to the kids. We're passing it to kids like Jordan, and then Jordan takes it home, and it's like, come on, man.
Right, or he sees his grandma.
Right.
Right. That's the issue, really.
That's right. That's it.
Continue to get vaccinated, folks.
So anyway, I'm
That's
glad
where
to
we're at
see.
with the masks.
And then obviously, what happened at the Supreme Court yesterday?
Couple nights ago. Yeah, that was interesting. I've been trying to get caught up on that. What didn't happen in the Supreme Court, really.
So basically, the law of Texas, which is going to be replicated in states like Indiana across the country, says that even though Roe versus Wade gives you up until the end of the second trimester, I believe.
24 weeks, maybe.
Right.
Viability.
Texas's new law does not allow mothers who are pregnant to seek an abortion after their 6th week.
6 weeks. Yeah.
And a lot of women in the 6th week wouldn't even know that they're pregnant, by the way. And it also deputizes Texas residents and allows them to collect a bounty of $10,000 if they see anybody aiding or assisting somebody in getting an abortion after 6 weeks.
Yeah, so it's
like if you
interesting,
drove
right?
somebody to Oklahoma, for instance, to get an abortion.
Well, like I heard yesterday, they gave several examples. What about somebody who loans somebody the money? What about somebody who drives somebody
Right.
somewhere?
You
What
drive
about
them to a legal state.
What about the receptionist at a clinic?
Right.
What about somebody who...
So I'm a Texas resident, and I work at an abortion clinic in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
You aid and assist, so that's...
What if you're a Texas resident that works at a Texas abortion clinic?
You're right. Good point.
What if you, and it was kind of like this, somebody referred to like, are we becoming like the East Germany Stasi, where it was all about reporting everybody else, right? And that was the way, if you look at and so what the Supreme Court didn't do is they didn't take it up. They just left the circuit court ruling in place.
Weak.
Right. And so
Justice Roberts got left in the dust on this too. He was the only, member of the right appointed by a Republican he was appointed by George W. Bush.
Yeah, it was 5-4.
That sided with the Democratic minority. It was 5-4.
5-4 against. So it wasn't an opinion.
5-4
right?
against accepting
hearing
the case.
it. Right. So certiorari was denied.
Right.
So what they did is it left it in place, and the way that this law, at least the circuit court, the Court of Appeals, right, said the reason that they kept it in place was, and they didn't overturn it, was because the mechanism for enforcement was not the state. The mechanism for enforcement was they put it in private individuals. You can go ahead and report somebody and get a bounty because they aided and abetted an abortion. It's bizarre. But you're right. The fear here is that this is just going to be the way to skirt
Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, Roe versus Wade in the states. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. There is a case though that the Supreme Court is going to hear, which I think is a Mississippi or Alabama.
Yeah, Jackson versus Mississippi.
Is that what it is? A Mississippi statute that was passed that directly attacks Roe versus Wade, and they're going to hear that, I think, in this October term. So that'll be.
Wow.
We'll see what happens.
I predict you will see bills of similar stature to the one that was floated in Texas,
Without a
floated
doubt.
in Indiana
Without a
this
doubt.
session.
Without
And
a doubt. It's probably already being written up.
the women in Indiana that feel strongly about this issue, your choice, your body is going to be litigated and debated on by a bunch of white men in the General Assembly, and they're going to tell you what to do with your body. I mean, and that doesn't mean that there's not, women in the General Assembly. There is a few women in the General Assembly, but quite frankly, we're
It'll
talking
be interesting
about
to see what happens.
a bunch of 60 and 70-year-old white men are going to decide what women could do with their bodies in Indiana, and I predict it's going to happen in 2022.
Well, and you know what may happen if the Supreme Court takes up this challenge in the Mississippi law and they overturn Roe versus Wade. And what I think they're going to do, and you and I talked about this, Mayor, is that they'll just leave it to the states.
Yeah.
Say, okay, it's a state. It's no longer a federally protected right.
That's right.
So now it's to the states to determine how to either protect or not protect this.
So if you're a Hoosier woman, let's say if you live in the region and you want to get an abortion in Indiana, I predict a year from now it will not be legal.
Or it may be you can do it up to 6 weeks.
Up to 6 weeks.
Yeah, and
which
then
is
your neighbor can report you.
90. They read a stat off. It was like 97% of all abortions that people seek are after the 6th week.
Yeah.
So this would basically eliminate abortion in Texas altogether.
We'll see.
Because
It'll be
women
interesting to
by
see
their
what
6th week
happens.
don't necessarily know that they're pregnant. Okay,
How is that possible?
they did it, and it's
How do you not know
law
you're
in
pregnant
Texas?
after 6 weeks?
I don't know. I'm not a woman.
People miss well, not people.
Yes, Jill?
Women
Right.
miss periods all the time. You
Right.
you miss a month.
97% of them, though?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Most of the women that get abortion are, I imagine, I'm not a woman, and I'm speculating, it's in your second, third month-ish.
I don't know.
So
Don't know.
by putting the line at 6 weeks, they basically outlawed abortion in Texas.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. It's going to be interesting. This is obviously going to be an issue all year, and I just think the Supreme Court kind of
Who's your women? I'm telling you, 2022.
dropped the ball on that.
I bet you by the time we come back on, let's write this down. By the time we come back on, there'll be a bill that we're reading about floated by some legislator,
In some state. I
agree.
a white
I
man
agree.
in Indiana.
Oh, you think in Indiana already? Well, they don't have. They can't. They can probably talk about the fact that
Yeah,
they're writing
they'll
the bill
talk.
up, but
They're
yeah,
doing their
yeah.
bills right now.
Yep,
They're
yep.
doing their bills for the session that starts in January.
I bet Mike Andrade will report in.
I bet
to
you
us on
by
that.
Tuesday, we're talking about a similar type of bill being floated in Indiana, and I'm going to be looking for it. So let's see if we can come back to this on Tuesday. Okay.
So Phil and I got into this big time in a thread last night, and I'm curious if you guys agree. Phil thinks this is
disagree.
going to affect
I disagree.
if you said Phil thinks, I disagree.
Phil thinks this is going to affect midterms big time, like in terms of bad for Republicans.
I agree.
Like it's going to change the whole whatever wave or whatever
I
thing you
agree.
think might happen. Dems are just going to.
I'm not sure how Jill feels about this, but like I think that I know a lot of women that are watching this issue closely, and they're motivated. I'm not sure.
I mean, John, it could fire up. It could fire up a lot of women, right? If
Mm-hmm.
it goes the wrong way and the Supreme Court rules a certain way, and Indiana starts floating bills,
Yeah.
it could. It's interesting. That's an interesting point.
it's a tough issue. Right,
Yeah,
Jill?
it is.
I mean, I don't think I could ever do that, but I don't
Of course.
think it's my right or anyone else's right to tell somebody they can't have an abortion.
I've been alive since 1969. Roe versus Wade went into law
72.
in 1973. I heard it on the
Right.
way today. 1973 to now, which is 49 of my 52 years of life I've been alive. This has been the law of the land, and it changed 2 days ago, and people don't realize it. In Texas now, Roe versus Wade does not apply, and it's coming to Indiana. It's going to be here before you know it, and women in Indiana better take note. This is coming to our state, and so if you're a woman in Hammond that wants to get an abortion, and you used to go to the clinic in the local clinic in Lake County to do it, you'll now have to drive over to Illinois to do it, which is no big deal if you're from Hammond, because Illinois is 10 minutes west, right? However, if you're in Indianapolis and your closest option is hours away, it's a different story.
How about if you're in South Texas and you need to go to
Yeah,
Oklahoma?
you got to fly or you got to drive.
So I
across
mean,
the
it,
state.
it's definitely
And
an
then get
issue,
arrested.
it's-
And then-
yeah, well, when your
Risk
neighbor calls,
The person that drives you gets turned in by somebody else, and they get a $10,000 reward, and the person that drove you gets arrested for assisting in an abortion.
it is a tough issue.
Yeehaw!
Yeah, it's gonna
Welcome
be
to Texas.
going to be exciting times to discuss this for the next year.
And then, Joe, I know that you were in mourning yesterday because your boy Joe Rogan has COVID and he's not doing a show.
Maybe he
yeah.
needed a 6-week break like we did.
I just thought his.
We all
Did you
had
guys?
COVID.
Did you see his video? Did you see
No,
his,
no.
Oh my God! He said he started feeling sick, and he had a night. He thought he knew what this was. He got a test, and then he said he just threw the kitchen sink at it with like everything he's heard about, essentially, including ivermectin. And he said within a day, he only had one bad day. He was like, I feel great now.
Was he vaccinated?
I'm going to go no.
I'm gonna
think so,
go
no.
with no on
But
that
if you're
one.
vaccinated and you're positive, the symptoms are way less.
True.
So, like, if he was vaccinated, it could have just been that he was vaccinated. That's why he got better.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
hasn't
never
said one way or another, right,
He
John?
hasn't
Yeah.
said one way or another, but he's
Think
his
it's
podcasts
important.
lately are pretty anti-vax. I think.
I'll be honest with you, man. I listened to him for a short while.
I don't listen to him anymore.
First off, 3 hours. Get a hold of yourself.
I'm surprised people listen to us for an hour.
Get a hold of yourself, right? 3 hours. You're not that important.
couldn't do
dude.
it.
Right?
We're not tripping balls like he is, though.
That's
on his
true.
Dude,
podcast.
he did one episode. He did mushrooms on it. Him and Post Malone. I was
Whoa.
the first hour was pretty coherent, and then the second and the third hour it was like these dudes are straight tripping.
That's usually about the time I have to turn it off after the first hour anyway. But
I'd listen to it on my workouts, and then they just dig on after a while. But anyway, thanks for listening to Lockpot, everybody. We appreciate you. We're back on Tuesdays and Fridays, as you know. Jill never did her thing. Could you do it real quick? I know.
oh, wow.
What?
Jill.
This is my birthday present to you.
All right.
Thank you.
You're almost done listening to Left of Center,
Many
where
are
we
already.
cover everything from politics to important events of the day in the Midwest and the nation, all while having way too much fun while doing it. If you can't get enough of us, follow us on Facebook at Left of Center Podcast or on Twitter at LockPod. If you can't listen in live, you can download our episodes on the Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio apps. Just search Left of Center and look for the red and blue logo. Don't forget to subscribe and rate on every single one of those applications. If you want to advertise on our show, send an email to steve@lockpod.com.
Thanks, Jill.
Thanks.
See everybody Tuesday.
Yeah.
Finish
Happy
it up.
weekend.
Close us up.
Well,
I'm glad we're going off the air because a lot of people are now talking about this ivermectin thing in chat, and I don't know. I'm not convinced.
I suggest you just get the shot, John.
John said he said not yet, which I thought was a hopeful.
I like
You know,
the
comment.
I like the yet part.
I put this in the shared note yesterday, but I removed it. I got a COVID antibody test.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
and
The results are negative to being exposed short term or long term.
that's why you need the vaccine.
Good. Get it done, brother.
Get it.
Now, that's
FDA
not to
approved.
say. I mean, that goes back 6 months or so.
Pfizer,
Great, man.
FDA
How'd you get that,
approved.
dude? I want to do that.
Oh, you can, Dr. Novin.
Really?
Mhm.
I
I had one with him.
Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to Lock Pod. We appreciate you. We'll be back on air Tuesday. Happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. And thanks to all the men and women who worked so hard and those that gave blood to give us the 8-hour work day and a 5-day work week and vacation and overtime pay and all that. The people over the years that worked so hard and gave their life to get us the freedoms we have today. We
Amen.
appreciate you. Thank God and thank goodness for everybody. Thanks. We'll see you on Tuesday. Happy Labor Day weekend.